Hi everyone, my name is Asifiwe Shema. I am a freshman at Aiken New Tech High School. I am originally from Burundi and I came here in 2019. So I've been here for almost 6 years now. And today I'll be reading my book called Unexpected Change. Yes, it is in Swahili and English, but today I'll be reading the English version. So this is the book. It says, ever since I was a kid, I had a whole lot of dreams. But a dream that seemed unrealistic was coming to the USA. It seemed like we needed miracles for the dream to come true. I was one of the good kids at the camp we were living at, and everyone knew me as a church kid. So they would always look up to me to see if I was making bad decisions. I wasn't just a church kid, I was also a class president for most of my classes. And I always hated the title they would give me because for every mistake I would make, you could hear them saying, "Oh, aren't you supposed to be teaching the right way to do things?" Sometimes I'll just take 3 hours of sitting at the front door thinking of how life is going and how I'll reach my dreams in life. But at the end, the only thing that cheered me up was my mom's favorite line: God will provide. I couldn't dare to ask for my friends for help since we both knew I didn't know how to ask for help and I was too used to being a problem solver. I started seeing beautiful changes when I started going to interview and test in order to take a plane to go to the United States. When we found out the day that we're coming to the United States, we were as excited as a chicken seeing its food. I got a chicken over there. Okay. Saying our last goodbyes was not as easy as we thought it would be. But those moments were the moments that I actually said, I'm living in my dream life. I got the chance to speak to my mother only once because she was busy getting stuff ready for us and saying her goodbyes as well. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, and I knew I was going to let the chance go. So I had to start a conversation even though she was kind of busy. I cleared my throat twice and started saying, Mom, Mom. I stumbled over my words for quite a moment, and she finally replied, Yes, what is it? Our lives are going to change. We have prayed, we have waited, we have worked so hard for this moment. Then she looked at me with her emotional face, and then she took a good, big, deep breath and replied, I know, son, God has provided so well for us to see this experience that millions of people would give a hand or a foot for. But we didn't pay anything. He gave us this blessing because he loves us so much. Days went by, and I started becoming more and more emotional saying goodbyes. It was not as easy as I thought it would be, knowing that I'm not going to see these people for a very long time. I had to say my goodbyes even to my enemies. Some of my friends were also going to the USA the same day. So it was a week before the journey began, and my friend came up to me with this huge smile on his face, and he said, "Oh, I can't believe we're going to the USA together. We should definitely be hanging out to the day that we go to the city to wait for the plane." I knew better than to just say yes so quickly, so I took some time and got it off my mind. Yes, we should, but only for 1 hour because I have to hang out with my other friend, aka Kaka, Omba, Totobe, and Benjamin. And you know I've been hanging out with them, and we have been friends for a long time, and it wouldn't make sense if I didn't hang out with them. He wasn't too happy, but he knew the code. Friends code number 15. My friends card comes first, and nobody can break us apart. It took some time and a good big deep breath for him to say, okay, it's fine. After telling him, his energy was totally changed and he became calm. I understood he wasn't happy, but I had to go with the flow. I turned and walked past him, and as I walked past him, my heart felt like it was in a race. Days and days had passed, and it was 2 days before the big trip began. I woke up that fateful morning with joy in my heart, went to church, went and played with my friends, and in the evening, my mom had the whole church come and throw a churchy goodbye party, and I got time to spend with my friend. Erne, I know we're going to be apart for a while, but don't be sad. I promise I'll remember you no matter what. He looked at me and suddenly his face was like a face of an angel and tears started dropping. The only words that came out from his mouth were, "Do not forget me and do not forget where you came from." I can't blame him for feeling sad after he heard all those things and how people come to the United States and forget all about their friends and enjoy life. It was finally the day that we've been waiting for. I woke up at 5 a.m. and it was like that very morning, our house should have been 10 times bigger. I had to say excuse me a zillion times for me to be able to pass and go to the bathroom to take a shower. I was all ready and prepared, and right after, I went to my friend's house so we could both walk to the market to buy some snacks for the trip. I walked around the city for a while, for some time, and it seemed like we were famous because everywhere we passed, everyone was looking at us. The trip began, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, we were already at a hotel where we were going to stay for a week. A week passed, and I was so nervous, but I knew it was going to be a great day. We got into the bus, and it took us to the airport. We had to wait 2 hours for our plane to be ready. But right then, I couldn't believe it. After dreaming for years and years and years, my foot finally stepped in the plane. I was so excited, but also nervous. I knew it was going to be the longest days of my life, but at the end, I will step my feet in the United States of America. We got there, and it was the first time I saw a house like that, with a kitchen, bathroom, and a basement. Whew. A few months passed, and we got a TV. I said, thank God. Never in a million years would I thought that my papa could buy a TV. Now I don't have to pay to watch movies, videos, or anything really. Days passed again, and my dad decided to take a walk down the street to visit our friends who are also from Burundi. I started cleaning the house, just to help my mom and sisters. Then I accidentally pulled a wire when I was moving a chair, and the TV fell and cracked. Yeah. When my mom and dad heard about this, they sent my brother to call me. And little did I know, it was time to get questioned. They always want me to help around with cleaning and doing all these stuff. But in this case, it seemed like they didn't appreciate my help at all. When I sat down, my whole body was shaking, knowing that I was in a hot seat. My parents gave me the death stare, and I knew in my mind that was their way of saying, what happened? I looked at my mom, and her eyes were like shining flowers that can't be touched. I looked at her eyes closely, and I knew if I lied just a bit, it would cause me even more trouble. So I started the conversation before they could. Well, you know what? I was too scared. I didn't have the strength to speak. After a few seconds of me trying, my dad shouted, "Speak up!" I'm sorry. I was cleaning up and accidentally pulled the wire while pulling a chair. I never meant for this to happen. Please forgive me. They both listened for a while, and my mom said, "Who told you to clean up?" Then I whispered quietly, "If I had cleaned up and nothing had happened, you would be thanking me right now." It seemed like me and my parents were in a battle, and as soon as I noticed, I backed off and let them have the victory. My mom noticed how sorry I was, and she told my dad how sorry I am. My mom said, "We know how sorry you are, but please be better next time." She said it in her angel voice, and then my dad joined in. We all make mistakes. That is a part of life. Nobody's perfect. All we want is for you to say sorry and feel sorry and accept your mistake. You should understand your mistakes define who you are. I don't know what had happened to my parents. It seemed like I was talking to other people. I don't know how or when they changed, but that change was a change I wanted to see my parents. And in my heart, I whispered, I just love parents. And that's the end.